We'll get started in a moment. I'm here. You can't see me, but I'm here. All right. Good evening. I'm Randy, and thank you for joining me on my live stream after hours. This live stream airs on Wednesday and Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This episode is airing live on Friday, January 21st, 2022. Is that the right date? It's been a long week. I'm sure it has for you as well. Announcements for today. I'm 40. I turned 40. It's crazy. As part of my birthday gift, I got a PlayStation 5 and a lot of games. It's pretty awesome. I got the best games for it now. It's pretty cool. I'm very lucky, and it is a lot of fun. I have not bought a gaming console since the Switch, the Nintendo Switch back in 2017, maybe? Somewhere around then. And I love it. It's a good experience, but the graphics on that thing, they're like mobile phone, half of a mobile phone graphics, like 720p. Maybe. I mean, and PlayStation 5 is just, it's great. It's fantastic. You can get them. You can pay more than they're worth on, Facebook, or you could sign up, for their waiting list on the PlayStation website. I recommend you try that because you want to get it at the right cost, but it's amazing and it's totally worth it. I've researched the other gaming systems like Xbox, the Xbox X or S or whatever. Get the better one if you're going to get the Xbox. It's also a great experience. And they're copying Sony's gaming, or Sony's copied Xbox's gaming selection online, basically, where you can rent games for an extra monthly fee, like your old library. But it's good for everybody, good for us, right? I don't know about the companies, but us, the users, we love it. So today's news: Google is sort of bringing Android games to Windows. So that's interesting. I always kind of thought that was going to happen. I mean, you could always plug your Samsung phone into Windows and just, use Dex or whatever to bring it up on your screen and kind of have your own desktop. But the first spoiler, though, is that it's only available to users in Korea, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. And these games are played inside a standalone app that Google built for Windows. And let's get to my screen, because I always forget to do this. So you can just see what the page looks like where I got that news from Ars Technica. So Google stated that because of this, some of the most popular games in the world will be able to be played on a PC. And people like me that have PlayStation probably don't care, or a gaming PC, which I also have. And it's like mobile games are cool, like Toon Blast, but bringing them to my PC, maybe I'll play them, but I still just play them on my phone. But that's my opinion. But games such as Mobile Legends Bang Bang, Summoner's War, State of Survival, the Joker collaboration, and Three Kingdom Tactics, all games I've never heard of, but I guess I'm out of the loop. Those are all able to be played. But as of now, we don't know if it's emulation that makes this happen, or if it's streaming it through their service. My guess is it would be some kind of streaming, but I don't know if they're there yet with that. But it gives them more control, so why wouldn't it be? But a link to the Ars Technica article, Ars Technica article is going to be in the show notes, so I'll keep that there for you. And next, there's more Google news. Google's giving free G Suite users. Think of the Google apps, the G Suite. It's been around for a long time now. They're giving them the boot if they don't pay for it. And these are users that always, it was supposed to be free, right? But Google turned off the ability for new. Well, first off, I jumped ahead in my notes. There was a point in time when early adopters of this could get it for free, and they sign up with a custom domain, and then with that domain, you could have your Google Suite and your Google apps under it. Schools do it, but they get stuff free because they're organizations. I don't know if they still do, but they used to. But users now have till May 1st, like your regular users, to select a new paid plan, or Google will select it for them. And there's 6 months $1. Basic is your cheapest. I think that's one of the cheapest ones. But that's more than the $5 a month I pay for Microsoft 365. And Microsoft 365 I think is better, but it's my opinion. I've tried them both. I've had them both on domains. I think Microsoft's is better and more affordable. You get 1 terabyte of space in your OneDrive. I'm a big fan of that for like, if you're going to have like a business and have it on your own domain and your own email. I don't recommend hosting your own email. And I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but Google will be suspending those accounts if they don't pay or set up for a plan and pay it. And if they don't enter in billing details before July 1st, 2022. Maybe this is the best time to ditch Google is where I'm going with this. I ditched Google mostly, but when it came to them, Google Photos kind of like shutting off, like kind of giving them the boot after saying it's free, it's unlimited, put all your stuff here, and then they just shut it off. So then now you're stuck here with all your photos in their infrastructure and they scanned your face, they scanned it. I don't know why that sounded funny in my ear, so I said it again. But yeah, so I said, no, I'm going to take all my photos because they have Google Takeout, and it's delicious. No, it's called Google Takeout, where you can take your data from them and then leave, quit. They can be goodbye. So I did that, took all my photos, uploaded them to a NAS, and it's the best thing I've ever done. The space is managed by me, backs up to like Backblaze and another source that I'm not going to name. I don't want to name all my backup sources. It backs up there, and if my or my drives get nuked or they get destroyed, I can still get them. I got backups all over the country, and still cheaper than Google Photos. How about that? Not kidding. It's like my Backblaze subscription comes out to like $4 a month because I'm not like constantly transferring data to them. It just stays there. And then if I need to, hopefully never need to access it. If I do, I can get it, and it's great. So bye-bye Google in that sense. But if you're a G Suite user, you're going to be having to pay or you're going to lose it. So that's what I recommend. You could set up a Google replacement, self-host, or just do Microsoft 365. Like I also have that just for my email mainly, but I take some of those other perks and use them. Like my OneDrive storage, I back up some podcast episodes to it as a secondary backup. So I think it's worth that for $5 a month. Come on, that's incredible compared to Google's deal. Ditch Google if you can. I'm not saying Microsoft's great either, but they're better in this sense. So, yeah, that's Google news for today, for now. But I'm going to go back to some Google in a minute. Let's go over to the IRS. Ooh, don't like hearing about them this time of year, do you? IRS, though, is requiring facial recognition scans to access taxes online. One of our 3-letter agencies that you didn't think you could hate more, the IRS, is really pushing it now, in my opinion. So to make matters worse, it's a third-party company called ID.me. So, I hope someone makes a domain name something like blow.me and just, mocks this nonsense. I think that'd be funny. First thing that comes to mind, yeah, I'm real mature, and I'm 40. But you used to be able to log in with irs.gov with the username and password, and this summer, those users will need to provide a government-issued ID, a selfie. That's not just a selfie of the ID, an actual selfie. Your camera needs to go on, and you need to take a selfie and give it to this third-party company. And there's more. You need copies of your bills and send it to that ID.me. And it's a company based out of Virginia that lets you totally, they totally got your trust, right? You trust them, and they'll never lose your data or it'll never be hacked. They're the best people to hold on to that. You know that, right? No, nobody knows that. So Gizmodo learned from an IRS spokesperson. I think this is really shitty. This sucks. But Gizmodo learned from an IRS spokesperson that said users can still receive basic information without logging in, but they would need to sign in through ID.me to make and view payments, access tax records, view or create payment plans, manage communications preference, or view tax professional authorizations. Then the IRS rep followed up and said, the information I provided was not accurate. Somebody's like, would you just tell them? No. So here's how accessing IRS, this is quoted. I didn't write this, but so here's how accessing IRS online accounts will work for most people later this year. Users attempting to log into their accounts using ID.me will have to create an account with the company by uploading either a driver's license, passport, or passport card. Users are then told to use a cell phone camera or their computer's webcam to take a selfie. So that part's all there still. And according to ID.me's website, the company uses a face match facial recognition system, very general, just kind of broad right there, but that matches the provided government document. Man, is 1984 coming true? Oh, yeah. I mean, if approved in ID.me's system, users can then use these credentials to verify their identity across any of ID.me's partners. So that data is not just in one space? I mean, is it OAuth? Is it... maybe we'll find out more. I'm sure we will. Somebody's going to find this out. And I don't know. I wish the IRS was abolished. I said that on camera. I don't care. So anyways, Project Iris is Google's next attempt at augmented reality. They're hoping to ship it in 2024, and the AR glasses will be wireless and use external cameras to augment the real world in front of you. See the world how Google cares for you to see it. I added that. Like how they alter search engine results. Seems legit. But about 300 people are allegedly working on this top secret project at Google. And Clay Bavor is, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, it's B-A-V-O-R. Clay Beaver, let's just say Clay Beaver, is leading the project, and he's the one who was involved in Google Lens, AR Core, and Project Starline. And we could talk about all those, but I'm not going to, about the, like sitting at a meeting table and it looks like they're in front of you, and it's cool stuff. I mean, yeah, awesome. And I'm sure some good will come out of all this. Out of these creations, just like Google does a lot of good things for the web, like Kubernetes and I guess like just web technologies. They're incredible. But some of them, there'll be a bunch of good ones, and then all of a sudden there's like, oh, here's a couple that only benefit Google, and what's the mobile technology? There's quite a few things that are just like, oh, that's just to benefit you guys, and that's pretty dirty, and they've done some dirty things, which I've talked about in previous episodes. So I'm sure some good will come out of this, and everybody will benefit from that. But then there's that growing cancer that is more big tech, and that's just going to keep happening. I just think there should be more companies that have these abilities. I wish there were. Maybe their own domain registrar, maybe their own infrastructure. Like, it can't be controlled by these big companies, because eventually we'll all be screwed. It's going to fuck us in the end. It's going to. I swear to God, it will. So the next part I'm going to go to is the next... last headline is Intel this is good news. I got to end with good news, especially when evening news, like I say, sucks. So Intel planning to build an Ohio factory to fight the chip shortage stateside. This is badass. Now, okay, maybe they're big tech, but this is cool. I don't know. This sounds really good. Maybe somebody's going to write me back and say, no, dude, you're wrong. You're totally missing this. But Intel is spending $20 billion to build a huge manufacturing site in New Albany, outskirts of Columbus, Ohio. And there will be 2 semiconductor fabrication plants, or fabs, on a 1,000-acre site. That's awesome. From there, they will research, develop, and manufacture the most cutting-edge chips, and your children will work there. I'm sorry, I added that last part. Most cutting-edge chips. This will create at least 3,000 jobs. And construction begins this year. That's awesome. Construction begins this year. Pat Gelsinger is Intel's CEO, and he mentioned that they have the option to eventually expand to 2,000 acres and up to 8 fabs. I mean, that's a lot of jobs. That's awesome. And he said, we helped to establish the Silicon Valley. Now we're going to do the Silicon Heartland. And he dropped the mic right then. He's just like, oh, and he disappeared into a random cornfield. Just kidding about the cornfield, but the rest is factual. And that's really good news. So I hope this gives you a positive push into the weekend, and I appreciate you listening. Thanks for taking time to tune in. And, even if you're watching this as a recorded episode, thank you as well. Be sure to join me at the same time every Wednesday and Friday from 8 p.m. till whenever we want. And it's going to slightly get longer each week, I guess. And as I get more content to cover, take care.